Your jealous mother couldn't accept that I got pregnant before her favorite daughter. So at a family party, she brought my ex-boyfriend. What he revealed made her regret everything. Hi, I don't even know where to start. I'm 29 years old, 8 months pregnant, and I'm writing this with a knot in my stomach from the couch because I still don't understand what the hell happened. My mother, Jacinta, was always one of those women obsessed with appearances. Perfect house, perfect family photos, perfect daughters, or rather one perfect daughter, my younger sister, Rebecca. Rebecca is the favorite. She always has been, ever since we were little girls. Quieter, more docile, more feminine, according to my mother. Always in heels, always with that fake smile of, I wouldn't break a plate. Me, on the other hand, I was the extra one, literally. My mother used me as background for photos. I was the before, Rebecca the after. And if I ever did something well, it was by luck. But if Rebecca breathed beautifully, it was a family achievement. And so I grew up enduring, swallowing the comparisons, the passive-aggressive comments, the indirect remarks that hurt more than any direct insult. But what happened now, I didn't expect that. A few months ago, I found out I was pregnant. Daniel, my partner, and I were happy. It was a surprise, yes, but a good one. I told Jacinta, thinking that for once in her life she would be happy for me. Spoiler alert. She wasn't happy. Her reaction was more like I had spit in her face. You got pregnant before Rebecca? You seriously? With that look of disgust, as if I had committed a family crime, as if I had taken the spotlight away from her porcelain doll. And well, I thought that with time she would get over it, but we got to the baby shower, my baby shower on a farm in Segovia with the whole family gathered. Me already 8 months pregnant, swollen, tired, but trying to enjoy it because I thought, well, at least this day is mine. Aha, how naive I was. My mother arrived late, in heels, perfect makeup, queen's smile, and with my ex on her arm. Yes, my ex, Oscar, the guy I dated years ago, who, after leaving me, started dating. Yes, you guessed it, Rebecca. She stood at the door of the room with him and said in front of everyone, Claudia, you needed to know the truth. I'm here to open your eyes. That Daniel of yours is not the right one. And there I was, looking like a fool, pregnant, squeezing the glass of water I had in my hand as if that would hold me up. But Oscar did something that no one expected. He turned to her and said, I can't take this anymore. If you don't tell what you did, I will. And he told it. Update. Yes, I'm continuing with the post. I didn't sleep all night. I woke up with swollen eyes, but there are things I need to let go. After my mother showed up with Oscar, I thought I had seen it all, but no. Oscar stood in the middle of the room, looked at Jacinta, yes, at my mother, and dropped the bomb. Do you want to talk about the truth, Jacinta? Very well. I'll tell them how you manipulated me for months to break up with Claudia. I'll tell them that it was you who pushed me to be with Rebecca. Or better yet, I'll tell them how you and Rebecca wanted me to stay with her to form the perfect family, taking everything away from Claudia. I was frozen. I listened but didn't process, as if my brain was saying, this can't be happening. People at the party were in shock. Some aunts lowered their glasses, my cousin covered her mouth, my father looked at the floor. He knew, or he pretended, as always. Jacinta, that woman, didn't even flinch. She just put on a victim's face and murmured, this is not the time or the place, Oscar. Forgive me, and when would be the time? When my daughter is born and lives a lie. And that's when Oscar dropped the second bomb. Rebecca always envied Claudia, always, since they were little girls. But you, Jacinta, you took care of feeding that. You wanted her to have everything that Claudia achieved on her own. Even this baby. I felt the air leave my lungs. My sister wanted to steal my life, the family I was building. My mother continued acting as if everything was an exaggeration, with that calm voice she uses when she wants to appear as the misunderstood saint. Oscar, stop it. You're going to ruin her pregnancy. Oh, now you care about my pregnancy? After showing up with my ex, dragging him here as if he were a trophy, in front of my friends, my family, my partner, and now you're worried about my pregnancy. I got up. I don't know how I didn't faint. And just when I thought nothing could get any worse, Rebecca stood up with a serious face and said, I'm also pregnant, by Oscar. End of party. Post 3 on Reddit. Remember I told you that Rebecca stood up and dropped the bomb? Well, corrected and augmented, because what happened wasn't just a betrayal. It was emotional demolition. We were at my baby shower. I was 8 months pregnant, inflated like a balloon, trying to enjoy at least 1 hour of the most important day of my life. Until Jacinta arrives with my ex. You know the drama I told in the previous part. But what came next, that was another level. Rebecca stood up, fixed her hair as if she were at an awards ceremony, looked at me with that cold smile she always had, the one I mistook for shyness, and in a serene voice, almost as if giving good news, said, "I'm also pregnant by Daniel." Silence. No, it can't be. No, what did you say? I managed to say with my throat dry. She just looked at me as if she felt sorry for me. I'm sorry, Claudia, but he and I. It happened. It wasn't planned. And my world fell apart. Just like that, without anesthesia. I felt my baby move, maybe because of the shock, maybe because even she felt the hell that had just been unleashed. I looked at Daniel. He was white, eyes wide like plates. He didn't say anything. He didn't say it's a lie, or it's not true. Or what the hell are you saying, Rebecca? Nothing. He just swallowed, looked down, and that was worse than any confession. I wanted to scream. I wanted to vomit. I wanted to throw something at her face, but I didn't. I went straight to the bathroom. My hands started shaking again. I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself. My sister, my partner, my child, his half-brother, his cousin. What is this? I touched my belly, and for the first time in the whole pregnancy I felt something like fear. But not fear of childbirth, fear of the world I was bringing my baby into. Fear of being a mother and being completely alone. I locked myself in the bathroom while hell broke loose outside. Jacinta feigned outrage, Rebecca played the victim, and Daniel, I think he didn't even dare to look for me. Cousins and friends texted me. Is it true about Daniel? Are you okay? I can't believe what I just heard. Neither could I. And the worst part? It wasn't true. It was all a lie planned by Jacinta. Update. Yes, I'm back, because now that I've started I'm not going to shut up anymore. And because after what happened I need someone to listen to me because no one in my family did. No one. After the show at my baby shower where Rebecca said without flinching that she was pregnant by Daniel, the father of my daughter, I locked myself in the bathroom for almost an hour. I didn't cry, I couldn't. It was as if my body had shut down. Daniel didn't come. Rebecca left because she felt sick. Jacinta pretended she didn't understand anything. And I was left alone with my belly, in the bathroom of a room full of people who didn't even know how to look at me. 2 days passed. 2 days. Daniel went to sleep at his cousin's house to give space to the situation. Aha, space. How convenient. I stayed at home. Total silence. I blocked Rebecca. I blocked my mother. I didn't answer messages. I didn't open the door. Until I received a note. Yes, a paper note slipped under the door. Shaky handwriting and signed. Claudia, you're not crazy. Rebecca is not pregnant. Daniel wasn't with her. It was all Jacinta's idea. I heard it myself. They did this so that everyone would stay away from you so you would be alone. They want you to come crawling back. Don't do it. You don't deserve this. I felt my chest explode. I called my cousin Camila. She's one of the few who never turned her back on me. Was it you who wrote the note? Silence. Then yes. I swear to God, Claudia, Rebecca is not pregnant. I knew it since before the event. Jacinta made it up. She said she wanted to take you down a peg because you were too smug with your pregnancy, that the family was giving you too much attention. She said, let's see if she keeps that queen's face after this. I was speechless. Literally, I couldn't speak. I just listened to her and trembled. Claudia, they're not protecting you, they're destroying you. I locked myself in my room. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I sat in front of the mirror and saw myself for the first time without guilt. They were the sick ones. They made up a story to leave me alone. They wanted my pregnancy to be a stain. They wanted me broken, desperate, weak. And for a moment they almost succeeded. And that's when I got a message from Daniel. I know you don't believe me, but I was never with Rebecca. It hurt me that you didn't even ask me. I love you anyway. And if you need me to go away forever, I'll accept it. I broke down. An image I had buried years ago came to mind. I was 8 years old. It was Monday. I had a drawing in my backpack. I had won first place in a school contest. I painted it with markers and it took me 3 nights. Mom, I won. They said it was the best drawing in the whole class. Jacinta looked at me with that weird face. Couldn't you make a prettier girl? Look at Rebecca's. All neat. Rebecca hadn't entered the contest, but Jacinta stuck it on the fridge with a heart magnet. Mine went in a drawer. She gave me a new sheet of paper to practice on, and that day I learned that if someone doesn't defend you, it's because you did something wrong. That's why when Daniel didn't react, I thought, of course I did something. I deserve it. But it wasn't like that. I texted him. I asked him to come over. When he opened the door, he had that look of someone expecting a bomb. I looked at him and said, Daniel, I'm sorry. Sorry for believing them more than you. Sorry for thinking you were going to leave like everyone else. I'm so used to being lied to that when someone tells me the truth, it scares me more than the lie. He didn't say anything. He hugged me for a long time without rushing, as if he were putting me back together. And that night we slept together. Not like before, not as a couple, but as two people who understood they were alone and didn't want to be anymore. Post 5 on Reddit. Okay, this is going to be straightforward because I'm still in shock. I went to see my dad. I had left him a letter telling him everything about the baby shower, about Rebecca's fake pregnancy, all of Jacinta's circus. I didn't expect much, to be honest. He was never very present, let's just say. But he asked me to come to his house, that he had something to show me. I went without expectations. We sat in the kitchen. Weird silence. He showed me his laptop, opened an email, and there it was, a message from Jacinta to an aunt, a month before the baby shower. It literally said, I have a plan to take Claudia down a peg. Rebecca is going to say she's pregnant by Daniel. Just for a while, then we'll deny it. That way she learns that not everything revolves around her. Yes, that, unfiltered, as if it were normal. I couldn't believe what I was reading. My hands were shaking. My dad just looked at me and said, I saw it by chance looking for something else. Jacinta used my email sometimes and didn't delete it. He didn't say, oh, poor daughter. He didn't cry. He just said, I didn't know. But now that I do, I can't play dumb. He looked at me and apologized. Short, sincere. I wasn't there. I didn't see. I didn't do anything. And I have no excuses. I started to cry, but hard, like when you hold on so much that you can't anymore. He then told me he hadn't said anything to Jacinta yet, but that he was going to talk to a lawyer. He didn't want to continue with someone who would do this to his own daughter. And there I asked him something that had been hurting me for years. Did you see how she treated me when we were little? He took his time but answered, yes. And why didn't you ever do anything? Because it was easier. Because I thought you'd be okay on your own. Because I was wrong. I didn't know what to say. I just hugged him for the first time without anger, just, I don't know, with relief. Before I left, he said, this time I'm not going to stay quiet. And for the first time I believed him. When I got home, Daniel was cooking something simple. Noodles with sauce. But seeing someone there waiting for me was already a lot. I told him about the email. He was quiet. Then he said, she's completely sick. And I just nodded. We ate in silence. My baby was kicking like crazy, and inside I felt something I hadn't felt in months. A little bit of peace. Update. This was the day after my dad showed me the email. I was still processing the whole mess. The lie, the plan to make me look like an exaggerator. My head was spinning. I was at home in my pajamas with my giant belly, drinking mate and trying not to think. And out of nowhere the doorbell rings. I peek through the peephole. Jacinta with sunglasses, her hair done, leather bag hanging as if she was coming from having coffee with friends. And on top of that, with a bag of Media Lunas. Yes, Media Lunas. She rings the intercom. What are you doing here? She smiles, that smile I've hated since childhood. Fake. Tense. Controlling. Claudia, I just want to talk. Can you open up? I don't want us to end like this. I remain silent. She continues, I'm worried about you. I know you're sensitive and that you may have misinterpreted some things. And there's something snapped in me. Sensitive? Misinterpreted? I pressed the intercom button. I swear to you, if you repeat one more word like that, I'll go down and slam the door in your face. Silence. Mom, I know everything. I read the email, the plan, the phrases, everything. She takes a few seconds. That wasn't as literal as it seems. It was a way of saying, it's taken out of context. I just wanted. And there I went down. I don't know how I went down the stairs with that belly, but I did. I opened the door. I saw her there, small for the first time, not knowing what to say. You wanted to ruin me. Me, your pregnant daughter, vulnerable. You made up that my sister was pregnant by the father of my child. And you come with media lunas. She didn't answer. You're not a worried mother. You're a control freak who can't stand not being the center of attention. Claudia, she tried to use a soft tone. I did what I thought was best for you. No, you did what was best for you. Because when people don't applaud you, you become dangerous. And this time it backfired. I slammed the door in her face. Literally. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't break down. I just closed it. I stayed for a while with my hand on the handle, trembling. On the other side, silence and then slow steps. She went back to her car. She left. And I sat on the floor and breathed, for the first time in a long time, without guilt. Post on Reddit, my old lady sent me this. This is a war you're not going to win. And there I knew I had already lost her. Okay. This was what happened after I slammed the door in her face. 2 days later, I get an email from Jacinta. No greeting, no pretense, just the subject line. Don't turn your father against me. This is a war you're not going to win. Va? Seriously? I'm pregnant, emotionally destroyed, and this is a war for you? I didn't answer it. It wasn't worth it. But there it clicked for me. This woman wasn't going to give up. If she couldn't continue controlling me, she would try to destroy me. And so I said, enough. I'm not going to shut up anymore. I don't care if it looks bad, if they get offended, if they say I'm exaggerating. I opened my computer and started writing everything, unfiltered. From how they treated me as a child, how they made me feel less than Rebecca, how they disregarded all my achievements, to what happened at the baby shower. Inventing that Daniel betrayed me with my sister while I was pregnant. All of it. And the worst part? That they planned it as if it were a joke, a strategy. I posted it on a blog, a small place, nothing big. I did it to vent. 3 hours later, it had already been shared like 2,000 times. A journalist wrote to me. An influencer posted it on her Instagram. People I don't even know started writing to me. The same thing happened to me. I understand you. Thank you for saying what many of us can't. And there I knew I wasn't alone. Obviously my mom found out. She wrote to me again, this time longer, angrier. What are you trying to do with this? Destroy us publicly? This is how you thank us for everything we've done for you. I read that and laughed. Literally, I laughed alone. Everything they did for me. Like what? Make me feel like a burden? Use me for drama? Invent that my boyfriend cheated on me? So I didn't answer. I made another public post very clear. My mom is angry because I told the truth. But if saying what they did to me is destroying the family, maybe the family was already rotten. Aunts, cousins, people who never talked to me suddenly worried. How can you expose your mother like this? It's not that big a deal. My dad, on the other hand, wrote to me just 2 words. Keep talking. And I did, because for the first time I felt like I had a voice, that I didn't have to pretend that everything was okay. A few days later, they invited me to a radio show to tell my story. I said yes. I went with my belly, nervous but determined. The host looked at me and said, "Aren't you afraid of cutting ties with your mother forever?" And I told her. She already cut that tie when she treated me like I was worthless. Oh, and the best part? After all this, my mom went to my dad's lawyer. Yes, as if nothing had happened, to negotiate. But not to fix anything, to fight for money. And what she didn't know was that my dad already had everything ready. Date. Okay, last post. I'm writing this with my daughter sleeping next to me. It's raining outside and inside I'm at peace. Really. But to get to this point I had to go through hell. After my dad started the divorce, Jacinta went crazy. She called everyone, cried, said I was destroying her, that my dad was leaving her because of me, that it was a campaign against her. And when she found out that they had offered me to tell my story on TV, on a pretty well-known channel, she sent me a cease and desist letter. Yes, literally. The mailman came to my house with that. A legal paper that said that if I talked about her publicly again, she would sue me for slander and moral damages. I laughed. I swear I laughed hard. After everything she did, after ruining my pregnancy, after making me believe that my partner had cheated on me, now she was worried about her image. I didn't answer anything. I went to the interview anyway and said everything. Without names, but with my voice and with my truth. I talked about mothers who teach you to doubt yourself, about sisters who see you as competition and not as family, about how you can feel more alone surrounded by relatives than in an empty house, about how a well-acted lie can make you question your entire reality. And at the end I said, they called me an exaggerator. They called me crazy. But all I did was survive. And if it bothers anyone that I'm speaking out, they should have thought about it before doing this to me. The program went viral. People I don't know wrote to me, thanking me. And I just thought, I wish someone had told me something like this when I was 15. After that, total silence from Jacinta. 0 messages. 0 calls. My dad finalized the divorce. He left her what was fair, nothing more. Rebecca hasn't reappeared. I know she left the country. I don't care. And me? Well, I gave birth to a beautiful, healthy, strong baby girl. Her name is Luz because after so much darkness she was that light. I'm raising my daughter with love, with calmness, without fear, and with a clear promise. You will never doubt how much I love you. You will never feel like you have to fight for my attention. You will never have to shut up to make me happy. Few days ago I got an email. Jacinta, I want to meet my granddaughter. Can we start over? I didn't answer. I don't plan to, because I've already started over without her. Thanks to everyone who read me, supported me, wrote me messages. I didn't know there were so many people broken inside because of their family. Now I know and I don't feel alone anymore. They made us believe that speaking out was betraying. But the real betrayal is shutting up and letting them continue destroying you. This is where I stop. Thank you for reading me. Thank you for making me feel like I wasn't crazy. Claudia responding to Reddit. Hi. I wasn't planning on writing again. But after reading some comments I couldn't stay silent. Yes, I received beautiful messages of support from people who felt identified. But I also got things like, are you sure? You're probably exaggerating. You must have done something. She's your mother, forgive her. You like playing the victim. And the truth is they hurt. Because they don't know what it was like to go through this pregnant. They don't know what it's like to have your own mother use you as an enemy. To invent a betrayal, to try to isolate you. Leave you alone just when you need support the most. Yes, she's my mother and that makes it worse. Because she's supposed to take care of you, not ruin you. I didn't make anything up. I didn't write this for attention. Do you really think it's fun to air all this out? It cost me shame, fear, losing my family, crying whole nights thinking that maybe I was the problem. But I wasn't. I was just surrounded by the wrong people. Now I have a daughter and I'm not going to raise her in the silence and guilt that ate me alive.